Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today is such a lovely day, and I want to let you know that the picture that you probably saw at the beginning of this video, if you saw it, is the extra flower arrangement that I had on my head this morning. And because of the heat in Bali, the flowers are starting to need a break or say goodbye. So this is why this is the leftover piece of my full flower arrangement, and I am having fun with it. And today I wanted to talk about this idea of being the light. So being the light and the concept of non-attachment at the same time. So I thought I'd call this video the non-attached light. So I thought I'd start with a quotation, which I think many people would be familiar with this concept, and I thought I'd share it with you and let you reflect on it for a minute before I move on. It says, be the light. It says, learn to light a candle in the darkest moments of someone's life. Be the light that helps others see. It is what gives life its deepest significance. And this is by Roy T. Bennett, and I believe many of us think of the idea of being the light in this sort of manner because, again, when someone's going through not such an easy time, a dark moment, we'd like to be the light. So we might be uplifting for them, and we might help them get out of that space of unease. So I thought about this and I was reflecting on it, and this whole idea of being a light unto ourselves, because when we bring it together with energy work, even if I would like to be the light for someone, two things are necessary. One thing is my own system has to be filled with light energy. So unless I'm working on my soul powers, which I would strongly encourage us all to do regularly, I might not be filled myself. And on top of that, a person needs to be able to receive any light also. So, sometimes we might know something that someone else might not, and we might share it with them in a way that we think that they might understand. But if the mind is not able or willing or ready to understand, for whatever reason, maybe the thought process is very different in that particular perspective's mind, that person's mind's perspective, that it's just not able to grasp. Or sometimes someone just isn't listening. Sometimes we say they're listening, but they're not, or they're hearing, but they're not listening. So that can happen too. But what we see is that a readiness for learning is not there. So even though we might be the light or trying to be the light, it might be because someone is not able to receive yet we might also be less filled with our own light. So when that happens, we can see that, oh boy, after I really gave a pep talk to this person who really needed it, boy, did I feel spent. And this means that we ourselves are not filled. So of course, these two concepts actually work together very well, that it always reminds us of exactly how full are we, and it's only from that full space that we can give fully, and that gives the best of ourselves. Now, if someone is not able to receive, even the best of ourselves will not be received. And so then I thought I'd first start with this quotation of non-attachment. So now I've talked about being the light and how many of us think of being the light. I kind of hinted at this idea of being the light for ourselves. And then I'm talking about non-attachment. So here is this quotation. Non-attachment is not renunciation of everything. So a lot of people think that, oh, that means I have to give up the things that I love the most. So you might love food the most, you might love sex the most, you might love homes the most, you might love money the most. And this would mean non-attachment would be, don't be attached to those things that I love. Not exactly. It says non-attachment is not renunciation of everything, but the loving enjoyment of everything without hanging on to it in your mind. And this is by Muse Murray. And this so matches because this idea of non-attachment is very true to Vedic thought, but I believe it's true to all spiritual thought or religious thought too, or even just contemplative awareness, that when we're aware that, oh, if I really love something, I'm really attached, I'm also really fearful of losing whatever I really love. So if I could never have another meal again and I love food, I'm really already fearful of what would happen if I don't get that. So even if I miss a meal, it might feel like a really big deal. Same thing would happen in these concepts of money, a good job, recognition, power, fame, knowledge even for some people that, oh, if people don't know that I know, then they won't know how good of a teacher I am. And whether that teaching aspect comes out to family, friends, or even a partner, it could be that a person's desire is very strong, so they attach themselves. Well, I know this because I've learned this. And of course, yeah, we sometimes do learn things that are different than other people. And this willingness to be the light is also that light unto ourselves. So this light unto ourselves, if we can now think of the concept of light, and I heard this great lecture the other day about this, and about if we say we are the light, imagine the properties of the sun, that when it's shining on something, it shines on everything. It shines on good, it shines on not so good, it shines on happy times, not so happy times, it shines on anger, it shines on everything, which we would also say awareness shines on. I suddenly became aware of this, a light dawned. So this idea. So when we are a light, you notice that when that object goes away, so if it's shining on a flower, light is shining on a flower, the sun is shining on a flower, when the flower goes away, the light doesn't change, it's still the same. So when we are the light, when this goes away, so I don't have a worry now, so I don't know what to worry about. All my kids have left home, and to hear about, for parents who are empty nesters will say that, oh no, what do I do now? I've got nothing to take care of. And this can dim a light, because my light was dependent on them being here, but it's not. The light is not dependent on what it is seeing. So even if there's anger coming from the other side, or if there's dismissiveness, or if there's aggression, or if there's annoyance, or if there's any sort of actions that are coming towards us, even if there's a good workplace or a not so good workplace, the light shines the same and evenly everywhere. And it's just an awareness. So this light also doesn't have judgment to say, oh, this is good. I really like shining on this plant, but I really do not like shining on this plant, right? It just shines everywhere. And this is something for us to understand, that we can shine on everything and stay centered in ourselves. That this is us. When we say we are the light, or when it's so much easier to say to someone else, you be the light, you are the light. I say this to a lot of people because I do feel that we have this spark of divinity that is this light of consciousness within each of us. And whether we call it consciousness or awareness or divinity, it's the same idea. And so we all carry it. And yet, oftentimes we'll let something from the outside dim our light. But remember, if we're the light, nothing can dim that. It's the same, it's the same, it's the same. But if our own light isn't shining as powerfully, as brightly, as meaningfully as we need it to be, we will feel that lower energy. Or sometimes the same energy is what we've seen. So there's an anger that comes towards us and we get angry. Our light saw the anger, and now we are creating our karma from the anger ourselves. So this idea of understanding that to be a light unto ourselves is that we do not need it from anywhere else, because we are that light. Now again, this idea of attachment, non-attachment. Now, if we are light, we are not attached to anything, any emotion, any feeling, any thought, any experience, anything, any object that we are shining on. It doesn't affect us, because it's only the mind that takes that on. It's not that divinity, that divine spark that is within us. It's not the light that is feeling anything, but the mind might, the feelings might, the emotions might, the thoughts might, the body might, because, oh, you know what, they pushed me, and so now my body hurts, and now I'm not so happy. So because of this hurt, my mind is not so happy. So that sort of idea. I thought I'd also read this other quotation, which was quite fitting, by Ram Dass, and it says, "The universe is made up of experiences that are designed to burn out your attachment, your clinging to pleasure, to pain, to fear, to all of it. And as long as there is a place where you're vulnerable, the universe will find a way to confront you with it." That sounds scary. Oh no, oh no. As soon as the universe knows that I'm vulnerable about something, no. Remember this whole idea, the loving enjoyment of everything without hanging on to it. So the loving enjoyment. So start with, it's a loving enjoyment, rather than it's something I should be fearful about because it's going to shine light on something I don't want to see. No, I want to see it. I choose to see it because I'm just light. I am just the the awareness behind this. I'm the awareness. And again, as soon as I do not choose to attach myself, who I really am, to the mind, to this thought, this emotion, this judgment, this anything in terms of a not helpful energy, that is not what this light is. So remember, the light is the same everywhere. And this idea of the universe will find a way, it does. And we'll see that, oh, if there's one road I didn't want to go to, I didn't want to go on that road, and every other road that I know to get home is blocked today and I have to take that road. Things like that it happens in life, that, oh, this is the one person I didn't want to see, and they're the ones I ran into in the grocery store. Things like that happen. And then as I was reflecting this morning, lots of things were coming up today that made me very aware of my experiences here in Bali. And, I really feel like this work is going really well in terms of my own spiritual evolution. And I'm hoping the people that are listening to this are also feeling some movement in their spiritual evolution. I feel that the clients that I'm working with are definitely moving along nicely in their evolution. And then something happened today which created a flood of emotions. And I thought, wow, where did that come from? And it's because I recognized right away that this is not who I am. This is the emotions of this body, this form, this mind that I come through. And in recognizing this, it was such a beautiful awareness that I realized that, wow, each of us, which is the light, goes through our dark moments. We all know this. And then when we think that, oh, everything's good and I'm good and I can help others and all of this, because there's a lot of healthcare professionals I'll be speaking to that are out there, that will be hearing this. And I hope you understand this, that you are the light for so many people. And we each are the light for so many people. And we need to be that light for ourselves. So we come back to that soul evolution. And as we develop these powers, just like my experience today, that I was able to snap out of it very quickly, that it's not that the days of thinking about this, the hours of reflecting on it, it's just the awareness that, wow, this is not who I am. These are just the emotions that come through this system. And it was such a wonderful experience to have this experience. And thankfully, I was also able to chat with a friend in that moment too. And it was all to just speak out my thoughts. And it was so wonderful because this whole realization happened in that few minutes or that time. So thank you, friend. You know who you are. And thank you, universe, because honestly, this mind knows who I am. And now this mind is willingly listening to this soul energy that redirects it to remind it that you are just a tool for me. Who I am is not this mind. And this mind is useful when I need it to be useful for who I am. So this quotation I thought was very fitting because it's very humbling. It says, bright light is injurious to those who see nothing. Bright light is injurious to those who see nothing. And this is Hanifa speaking from the space of feeling like I know some things. There's a lot that I do not know. But whatever we don't have a light of awareness on is like we had no idea. And that's exactly it. That space is the dark spot that suddenly light is shining on. Suddenly an awareness is developing or being reflected off of something for us to see. And then how we choose to respond to it is our light. And it's just the reminder. It's just that awareness. This is the light of awareness that has found something, who has learned something. That then, that same light of awareness, learn the emotions that come through this body, through experiences like this. And so wonderful. Like, it's really such a blessing and such a beautiful journey to go through that I wanted to make sure that you know that any one of us, every single person, there's going to be things that we know and things that we do not know. But when we learn, it's such a joyful experience, this loving enjoyment of everything without hanging on to it. I don't hang on to something that's not so good, and I don't hang on to something that's really good, because everything is changeable. What's really good that's never changeable is this joyful feeling or this blissful space that's always there, always waiting. It's always just ready. And as soon as we realize that, oh, we are that energy, it's a beautiful space to join up with. So I wish for all of us to have that sort of enlightenment, and I hope that alignment leads to that sort of enlightenment. And again, we can have enlightenment in the moment-to-moment experience. It's not this goal to be reached. It's an enlightening experience to learn something about ourselves, about an experience, about our own form, and then how we can help ourselves and others. I wish that for all of us, and I hope you have a fabulous day or night ahead. And I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.